Good afternoon, viewers, and welcome to your program, our program, The Polity. Today is particularly a great day for Nigeria, so we can say. But as a nation, we are in a period of mourning. We're mourning the departure of an illustrious son of Nigeria, a committed patriot and a disciplinarian, a man who spent his years in the service of the nation. I'm talking about former President Muhammadu Buhari, who died in faraway London around 4:30 p.m. yesterday at the age of 82. Our former president lived, talked, and worked for Nigeria as a military head of state. He showed Nigeria what discipline is, integrity is, and how we can organize this nation in such a way that there will be discipline and there will be order in our polity. He came back many years after, fought the relentless battle with terrorism and insurgency as a civilian president. He carried out a number of reforms and did many things to improve Nigeria. Well, former President Muhammadu Buhari, his body has been flown into the country. You remember in the president's message, President Ahmed Bola Tinubu's message announcing the demise of the former president, he dispatched the vice president to London to accompany the corpse of the former leader. The Shetima and the SGF just arrived the country with the corpse about a few hours ago, and they are at present, even with Mr. President and all dignitaries, in Daura as we speak. And the body will be committed to Mother Earth at Buhari's hometown in Daura anytime from now. Nigerians from across divide have been paying glowing tributes to the man Muhammadu Buhari. This is a man that we all know as a man of integrity, a man with impeccable character, a man who lived a simple life of integrity, a simple life of service, and a simple life of giving back, caring for the poor and the less privileged. Among those that have paid glowing tributes to our departed leader is the incumbent president himself, President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, who described him as a selfless leader, a politician, and a very upright man. He says Nigeria has indeed lost a lover of good conscience, a lover of good politics, a leader that cherishes good governance. We have other political figures like the former President Olusegun Obasanjo, Jonathan, former President Goodluck Jonathan has also commiserated with Nigerians, the family of the departed leader, and the people of the Arab Emirates. Also, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar too, and a chieftain of the newly formed ADC, has also paid tributes to the late former leader. Many of them are to speak in Daura for the commencement of the burial rites at Buhari's hometown. We shall take a short break now. That's the focus of our discussion for today on the program, The Polity. I am SEGUN OJELADE. We take a short break now. We'll be right back.
In the beginning, God created a beautiful world.
3, 2, 1. Action.
And that's why, at KAFTAN Television,
we imagine a beautiful world.
We are not just bragging.
We blaze the trail in broadcasting. And it is about you.
At KAFTAN TV, broadcasting is not just about information, education, and entertainment.
it's an aggregation of all you need to know in Nigeria.
And around the world to create SEGUN.
At KAFTAN Television, we have all it takes to be on top in broadcasting.
Our mission is simple: to project Africa in a truthful yet positive manner.
Wait, we're coming to you in style.
Here we are, starting from September.
Look at what the facts are.
And as you say on KAFTAN TV, imagine a beautiful world.
In the beginning, God created a beautiful world.
3, 2, 1. Action.
And that's why, at KAFTAN Television,
we imagine a beautiful world.
We are not just bragging.
We blaze the trail in broadcasting. And it is about you.
At KAFTAN TV, broadcasting is not just about information, education, and entertainment.
it's an aggregation of all you need to know in Nigeria.
And around the world to create SEGUN.
At KAFTAN Television, we have all it takes to be on top in broadcasting.
Our mission is simple: to project Africa in a truthful yet positive manner.
Wait, we're coming to you in style.
Here we are, starting from September.
Look at what the facts are.
And as you say on KAFTAN TV, imagine a beautiful world.
In the beginning, God created a beautiful world.
I want to welcome you back to the program, The Polity. Today, like we said, we'll be taking a look at first the demise of our former president, President Muhammadu Buhari, who died in London yesterday. It's about now. Preparations are on for his burial, which will take place at his hometown in Daura, Katsina State. A number of dignitaries, including President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, are already on ground for the burial rites, which will be conducted according to Islamic rites. But that's where we're going to start the program this afternoon, and after which we now dovetail into general discussions on politics and governance. I have indeed somebody that is formidable in the House, a major player in the Nigerian political landscape, among the young ones that we have there, he's been a minister and is a writer and a journalist. Let me welcome Mr. Bolaji Abdullahi to this program.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon.
Yeah. He's a very well-known face. Like I said, he's a politician, former Minister of Youth Development, who has, we can say he has paid his due, and he is at present the spokesperson of the newly I can't say newly formed, of the ADC. He is the spokesperson of that party, the coalition, I still remember very vividly. So today on the program, we will touch on a number of issues as we begin the program, The Polity. Once again, I welcome you to The Polity.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure. Good afternoon.
As we stated, we're starting with the demise of our former president, President Muhammadu Buhari. And I want to ask you, how would you assess the man, Buhari? It means so many things to so many people, depending on which side of the divide you are. But who is Muhammadu Buhari to you?
Well, thank you very much. From the point of view of a public analyst or a watcher of public events, then as a politician, it is safe to say that President Muhammadu Buhari probably left behind a complex legacy. And when I say complex legacy, it means that you probably for a very long time continue to have different narratives about his very long career in the Nigerian public political space. But one thing that everyone would be united on is that he was a great patriot. He loved this country. That is number one. Number two, he was a dedicated servant of Nigeria, whether as a citizen or as a military officer or as politician or as a head of state or as a politician, you know, or as president. And the third factor is that he was a man of strong ethical standard. I think everyone can agree about these three. There's a man who set a high ethical standard for himself, and maybe sometimes tried too hard to get other people to be like him, to live up to the standards that he set for himself in terms of accountability, in terms of probity, and in terms of austerity. You know, so for me, these are the three things I can say about him, regardless of the differences of opinion based on political affiliation or bias.
Yes, you've touched on a number of issues there. His integrity, his love for the country. What do you say about the politicians of today? Well, former President Buhari was in your midst. You campaigned together. You ruled together. Have the present, I mean, the crop of politicians today, have they learned anything from him that we can point out to? Thank God for Buhari. That's why these people are behaving the way they are behaving.
Well, if you look at the statement that the African Democratic Congress, which I speak for, issued today, the point we emphasized about Buhari is that the ethical standards that he set for himself will continue to reflect back to us across generations as the standard to which we must hold all leaders accountable in terms of probity, in terms of accountability, in terms of honesty, in terms of transparency. So if you ask me, compared to what exists at the moment, without coming out to mention names or indict anybody in particular, I think we are falling way below that standard. I think Buhari, if it were possible for him, would look back and be embarrassed by some of the things that are going on at the moment in terms of personal accountability, in terms of austerity, in terms of identifying with the poorer segment of the population. I think he'll be thoroughly embarrassed.
Yes. But if you now look at the issue of the integrity, as we have, because that is the major thing Buhari is always noted for and commended for during his lifetime. Integrity. We know the number of houses that the man has and where.
He had
but the present crop of politicians, permit me to use present, Buhari is dead now. We don't know them. We don't know their assets. We don't know how they acquired their wealth. Talking across board now, without mentioning.
I get your point.
Yeah. What will you say? Does it frighten you about Nigeria? Because the way politics and political practice are going on in this country, it's like we are derailing, just like you said.
You see, public corruption in Nigeria can be explained. It's not a cause. You know, it's not a cause. It can be explained. Only that it appeared that we got progressively worse as the years rolled by. The kind of people that, the kind of cases that led President Buhari, then General Buhari, to jail politicians for 100 and something years in 1984, will be petty theft compared to the kind of grand heist
yes.
that we witnessed in the subsequent years. Apart from the personal, social, cultural value that produce leaders and individuals like Buhari, and you can look around, people of that generation, there is also something about the institution that we had that was capable of disciplining elected officials or appointed officials, as it may be. Now, it does appear that our system is no longer capable of punishing bad behavior.
Mm.
And the general public have seen this. And that's why when you talk about the commoditization of the electoral vote, where voters insist that they get paid to vote, they are not just being mean. They are not just being uneducated, as it were.
Mm.
They're just taking their cue from the political elite. They tell themselves, this guy comes here, he makes all kind of promises.
Huge promises.
We know it's a lie. We know the moment he gets into office, he's just going to begin to take care of himself, start buying houses, he'll start building houses, he'll start riding exotic cars, and we are unable to do anything about it. The system is unable to do anything about it. So when it comes to give us the vote, for us to authorize him to go and take care of himself, let's collect whatever we can collect, so at least we can eat today. You see, so we found ourselves in a complicated fix where you don't know which one comes first. Is it the egg or the chicken? Is it the people that have tolerated or normalized corruption to the extent that they are the one clapping and supporting politicians to go and steal more, that produce the kind of politicians we have? Or is it the politicians that produce the kind of society that we have? In any case,
or both.
Or both. So people like Buhari, there are still some of them around, or many of them around, are becoming misfit in the context of the system that we have normalized.
Mm. So how should we mourn former President Buhari, or how should we immortalize him in our daily conduct and as a nation?
Well, as a nation, I think the greatest tribute we can pay to a Buhari and his tribe, when I say his tribe, the likes of him, he is bringing an era to a close, by the way. We have to acknowledge that. So the greatest tribute we can pay to him is to put the people first. In whatever we do as public officials, put the people first. The people, the 12 million, the proverbial 12 million votes that Buhari had relied on perennially before he won the election in 2015, they weren't following him because he was giving them money. By force of personal example, he was able to inspire millions of people who believed in him. Many of them never saw him before. You know, so by that alone, he taught us something, that it is possible for us to set example and use our leadership position to get people to believe in something that is bigger than themselves. That is the most important one. The second one is that, can we at least be more Buhari-like in the way we handle public finances? Because this money, Buhari always talk about public money, public treasury, right? Can we begin to see public treasury as something that is sacred and not an alternative to our personal purse or an extension of our personal purse? I think these are the greatest tributes we can pay to him. Many people who are coming out today as chief mourners live life that's directly opposite or to what Buhari lived for. You know, it's, you will see it in the coming days, all kind of hypocritical pronouncements, all kind of self-serving gestures, you know, to exploit his political base. You will see it in the coming days.
Okay. Let's move on to other issues. Let's talk the ADC, the African Democratic Congress. Let me give you an opportunity to just tell us again what brought about the ADC coalition. What were the issues that made its emergence necessary at this material time?
I think, like historians like to say, there are remote causes and immediate causes. For me, I think the remote causes will be the overall dissatisfaction, the palpable dissatisfaction of the generality of Nigerians about the performance of the current administration. This administration has pursued policies that have ruined the livelihoods of millions of people. And it was appearing like we were being presented with a fait accompli, politically speaking, that there was not going to be alternative to the solutions that they were proffering. The twin policies of blanket subsidy, blanket and sudden, unplanned, whimsical subsidy removal, plus the unmitigated floating of the naira, were perfect incendiary that has set the life of millions of people ablaze, a livelihood, I mean, not literally speaking. So everyone can feel it. But now the question is, if we feel it this way, and you are a politician playing politics, the question you ask yourself, so what do we do about it? What alternatives are we able to propose? Then you wake up, you find that you don't even have a political platform in which to play politics. We are politicians. Politics is what politicians do. Then you find that you don't even have a platform anymore. Your political party has been bedeviled by this existential crisis that it was becoming impossible for it to be called a political party that can support anybody's political ambition or vision. And it was very clear to everyone that these crises were direct machinations of people in government. So Nigeria was heading towards what you could call civilian dictatorship in form of one-party rule. That was not what our constitution envisaged. That was not what our democracy was meant to be. So at that point, it became obvious that as politicians, we'll have to find alternative accommodation. Now, what is alternative accommodation? It means that people within PDP who could no longer call their party a political party able to provide opposition on by itself, people in SDP, people in Labour Party, and people in other parties that have been, whose soul has been hijacked by the operatives of government, had to come together. So in a way, it's the government that forced this coalition to happen, right? So had to come together to form a coalition. So when we were starting out, we had options. One option, register a new political party. Second option, identify an existing political party that is amenable to the kind of political party we're trying to build for the future. So we started with the first one, register a political party. The process is still ongoing. But in terms of identifying existing political parties, we had a set of parameters that we said any party that is responsive to these parameters will be considered. And ADC happened to be the most responsive in terms of the kind of vision.
Ideology?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
in terms of...
There is an ideology.
Of course, there is an ideology. African Democratic Congress is a pan-African, it has a continental vision, is a pan-African political party. It was modeled, it was inspired by the likes of the African National Congress in South Africa. But in addition to that, those of us who are coming, that's the legacy vision of that party. But those of us who are coming in are asking ourselves, hang on a second, where did we get it wrong with PDP? Where did we get it wrong with other political parties? Like you referenced, what is the foundational ideology of this party? Now we've been forced out of our various parties. We are coming together to form a coalition and to build a political party, as it were. Does it provide us opportunity to now build a real political party that is membership driven, that is driven by a set of rules and principles, a party that is able to discipline its own elected officials? You see, one of the challenges that other political parties before now had faced is that once someone is elected on the platform of a political party in Nigeria, whether it's PDP or APC or any of the political parties, the moment you are elected as governor or even as president, you become the lord unto the party. You become a lord unto the party and the party that listens to you, not the other way around. But you will know that as recent as Second Republic, it wasn't like that. And I like to say that even the most useless UPN governor knew that the least you could do was to do free education. Are we capable of building that kind of political party now? The answer is yes. And that is what has inspired largely the ADC.
I think with we will continue this discussion because there are so many issues that my guest has mentioned that which we are going to further delve into. We'll take a short break now. We'll be right back.
In the beginning, God created a beautiful world.
3, 2, 1. Action.
And that's why, at Kaftan Television, we imagine a beautiful world.
We are not just bragging.
We blaze the trail in broadcasting. And it is about you.
At Kaftan TV, broadcasting is not just about information, education, and entertainment.
It's an aggregation of all you need to know in Nigeria
and around the world to create SEGUN.
At Kaftan Television, we have all it takes to be on top in broadcasting.
Our mission is simple: to project Africa in a truthful yet positive manner.
Wait, we're coming to you in style.
Here we are, starting from September.
Look at what the facts are.
And as you say on Kaftan TV, imagine a beautiful world.
You're welcome back. The program, The Polity, continues. My guest is the spokesperson of the ADC, Mr. BOLAJI Abdullahi. Let's continue with the program. Now, when you were talking the other time about the reasons for the formation of the coalition and why some of you had to leave your former political parties to join the ADC. It reminds me of what happened in the PDP at that time when APC was formed. I remember it was a walkout then, And some of the narratives at that time are very similar to what you are saying. And the actors are almost the same. So, what is happening? It's like it is a perennial exodus. Once they are not favored where they are, they move. Is that what is happening?
I think you are comparing apple with orange, and this is how. In 2014, 2015, what you had was a merger of different political parties. The ACN, the MPP, the CPC, a faction of ABGA, and a faction of PDP, the NPDP, came together to form the Progressive Congress, the APC. In this case, instead of having parties merging, you find politicians forming a coalition, not necessarily with the parties that they were coming from. So what you have is that there are so many politicians from the PDP, so many from other parties, SDP, so many from Labour, whose party has been bedeviled by the kind of crisis that I referenced earlier, who are now coming together to form a coalition.
What I'm saying is,
I'm addressing your question. Now, you say, oh, the same people, the same people.
Yes.
I must agree with you that that's a challenge, because the same people now promising to be different. But the way I see it is, it has to be the same people. It's only politicians that play politics. From 1999, at least from 1999 till now, it's the same people you will find. You're not going to manufacture new people overnight, right? If you say, okay, it's the same people, what alternative do you have to the same people? Can you manufacture a new political class overnight? Or do we bring foreigners to come and do the politics? It's the same people. But the question is whether you can create a system that forces the same people that you're talking about to play by different rules.
Oh.
Do you get what I'm saying? And that's why what I was getting at earlier, when I say, the question is, can we build a political party that will be capable of subordinating its own members to the rules that it has set for itself? You see, so, and that's why if you look at it now, the chairman, David Mark, will tell you, I'm not more important than the ordinary member of the party in Oturkpo. We're having a political party that doesn't belong to anybody, as it were. A member-driven political party. So far, so good. We are doing something that has not been done before. And we are every single day trying to consolidate on it. Will there be mistakes? Yes. Will there be doubts? Yes. But we are convinced that this is an opportunity for us to do something different, to do something new.
Okay. Some of these people that we're talking about have all the while been around. Some of them since the start of the Fourth Republic. You mentioned Senator David Mark, for instance, longest serving Senate president. There are others. Amici, for instance, was everything under this dispensation. So then all of a sudden they suddenly woke up and felt, it's not me talking now. Those are the comments that we hear and we read. Just woke up now and then they say, this administration that just got there 2 years ago is the worst that we ever had in this country.
I'm surprised sometimes with the kind of logic that is driving this conversation. Is it possible to separate the facts of what the individual is saying from the individual? Is it possible? If you say, this is the worst administration Nigeria has ever experienced, we can debate that without saying, oh, but what about you? that's another conversation entirely. You know. So, but if we isolate the statement, this is the worst administration that this country has experienced. The question we should ask ourselves is, how did you come to that conclusion that this is the worst administration Nigeria has ever experienced? Then we can have a real conversation. I begin to say, okay, the reason I said so is that this is an administration that met cost of fuel, petrol, at 190 naira, and within 2 years, it hovered around 1,000 naira. It has never happened before. This is an administration that met naira to $1 at 460 naira, and it's now $1,700. This that ruined its own currency in such a way that even the IMF was surprised that Nigeria was willing to go that far. And there are more people today that are hungry in this country than ever, since 1999. You know, so these are the parameters we are using to say this administration is the worst. Then we can now go to the second layer of the question. But who is talking? Why? What qualifies you to say you are the solution, right? That's the different question entirely. And that's why we are saying that for us, in a political party like this, you find people who are driven by the motive of just wanting political power. You also want people, but there are also people who see an opportunity to present alternatives to Nigerians. Do Nigerians have the right to be cynical? Yes, of course. Because they will tell themselves, we've had all this before.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had all this before. In 2014, 2015, is it not the same people that came and promised us change?
Yes.
Right? So the net consequence of the failure of that change is what you see we are suffering. The credibility crisis that we have today flows directly from the failure. Because as at 2014, 2015, Nigerians still believed in the political elite. People were trekking from Lagos to Abuja to show that to show their support for the change that was being promised. People were selling their yams and using the money and contributing the money to campaign. So, but when everything, the promise of change didn't come, everybody became disillusioned, cynical, and distrustful of politicians. I can tell you, I started speaking for this party about 3 weeks ago, I think, 2-3 weeks ago. The biggest challenge that I have faced is what you are raising, this cynicism. How do we counter this cynicism? How do we tell people that we should have the courage to believe again?
In fact, one other area is in the tone of members of your party. To many, it's like there is a kind of vengeance in the way some of you talk, or there is hatred.
Hatred of what? Hatred of whom?
Personal hatred. You hear Tinubu, Tinubu. You hear Tinubu, Tinubu. Every inch of it, like the problem of the party is Tinubu. The problem of the ADC is Tinubu.
I think you are.
We want to dislodge Tinubu. We want to take over Tinubu. Is there a personal? Did you see? I mean, look at the actors in your party. Do they have a personal grudge against the incumbent president?
Nobody
because they sound like that.
Nobody has told me that. Maybe that's what you wanted to hear.
No, maybe that is what
because nobody has said it to me that he has a personal grudge with anybody. And what for me, what we are doing is much bigger than that. You say they keep saying Tinubu, Tinubu. Of course they will say Tinubu, Tinubu, because he's the president of Nigeria. He's the one presiding over an economy that has collapsed. He's the one who pursued policies that have had catastrophic effect on the livelihood of Nigerians. So who else will we call? It's him. It's Tinubu administration. He's the president of Nigeria. I can't hold brief for anybody. I don't know why anybody is doing what they are doing. But what I know is that the expressed purpose of this coalition, which I believe in, and I believe hundreds, if not millions of other Nigerians believe it, is that it can provide us a break from this existential crisis that this administration has plunged us into.
Okay. I think from some of the things that is coming out from your party, I think you are using the power of words very well. You talk about there is hunger in the land, millions of people have lost their livelihood. Do you really believe that the situation in Nigeria is as bad as we are hearing on the social media? Do you believe that this administration, haven't they done anything that you can point out and say, okay, I think they've done this? I mean, even if you can't see all the others, at least some of us in the FCT,
you tell me.
Some of us in the FCT do hear people talk about.
And you tell me the positive thing you are talking about.
No, that's what I've just said.
No.
Infrastructural development, even in the FCT.
That's not
some
bad.
of the projects that the administration is doing.
I cannot deny that.
The tax reforms.
You see, let me say something. You mentioned tax reform.
Yes.
That is good. You mentioned infrastructural development. That's good. But what has that got to do with the life of a woman in Ikotekpene who wants to transport her vegetable to the market and had to pay for transportation that is more than the total value of the vegetables itself? Is government no longer about the people? Is it about infrastructure alone? If the infrastructure does not improve the livelihood of the people, what is the value of that infrastructure apart from you just awarding contracts? I mean, you should be able to say this infrastructure that you are pursuing, this is how it's going to improve the livelihood of the people that will be using the infrastructure. I know there is a huge terminal, bus terminal in Abuja here. Very good, beautiful project. But where are the buses? The terminal is supposed to be a place where public buses pick up passengers and drop passengers, but where are the buses? So you see, what we celebrate, we say tax revenue. Maybe tax revenue brings more money into the coffers of the government, but that itself is meaningless unless we are able to show how that money, additional income, is able to improve the livelihood of the people.
Okay.
You know, whether in terms of better Medicare, in terms of better education, in terms of rural development, in terms of food availability. You know, so unless these are the parameters.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. Let's leave those issues for now. When you were making a point the other time, you talked about Nigeria driving towards one-party state. Do you actually believe that this polity can go into a one-party state? I mean, is it not a constitutional issue? Is it one that somebody can, through by whim or even by cunning attitude, just drive Nigeria into one? Can Nigeria ever go into a one-party state? Let's forget.
I don't know how much you know of Uganda or Zambia. At graduate level, I had opportunity to study those countries, especially Zambia under Kaunda. It's not that the constitution provides for one-party state. It is just that a ruling party makes it impossible for other parties to survive. The deliberate subversion of alternative platform is one of the ways that democracies in Africa have been subverted. And that's why you see that it's possible for a president to be in power for 20-something years in many of these African countries. We haven't got there, right? But the price of liberty is eternal vigilance, as it is said. Now, in this country, you may say that's under military rule. By the way, you know that it is easier to remove a military dictatorship than a civilian dictatorship. Because a military dictatorship that came to power through coup, anything that you do to remove that military dictatorship is what? Constitutional. but a civilian dictatorship, someone that was purportedly voted for and sworn in according to the law or the constitution, you have only one option to remove that person from power, through the ballot. Any other thing is constitutional, is unconstitutional. Now, will you still call it multi-party democracy if you find yourself in a situation where the only viable party able to actually present a candidate for 2027 is the ruling party? PDP had found itself grappling with whoever will be the secretary, who will not be the secretary. They've not even been able to hold a meeting. Labour Party have two factions. You don't even know which faction is the real faction. SDP had its own crisis. They don't know there are some other groups. So you find all these political parties. So what you find is that you arrive at 2027, God forbid, and all these parties will not be in a position to present a candidate against the sitting president. Meanwhile, the ruling party had said, no contest, President Tinubu is their candidate for 2027. So what do you have? Do you still call it democracy? So when we say we are drifting towards one party state, we are not saying that constitutionally or by law there are no other parties existing. And I'm glad, and I must thank him, my brother Femi Gbajabiamila, who the only person who has said, look, opposition should be welcomed. It is good for democracy. And since ADC has come on board, Nigerians feel differently. Nigerians feel, whether we will win power in 2027 or not, it's not the issue. Okay. But Nigerians now feel that they have an alternative in form of ADC.
Okay. Since the start of our conversation, you've been blaming the ruling party for some of the crises in other parties. The PDP, the Labour Party, and some others like that. I want to ask, what concerns the APC with what is going on in the PDP?
Are you aware?
No. I'm aware of everything going on. But why will you say it is the APC? Okay, for instance, look at what your people did.
Which my people?
The people? ADC. When your members, when they were moving into ADC, no Congress, no convention, no nothing, just moved into the ADC, removed all the existing...
I just took over.
Yes, took over. Now you now have an acting chairman. You even have a general secretary. Whereas there are incumbent.
I think you are not.
Are you not already digging a trench?
Yes.
For another crisis in the ADC,
not at
just like we're having in the now. When it now blossoms, now they now say, "Oh, it is the ADC."
No. I think you probably need to familiarize yourself more with the process that led to our going into the ADC, and for the emergence of the officials that have been appointed on interim basis. And that's why we're not bothered with. You will have heard that some people are challenging the process and even probably threatening to go to court. We are not so concerned because we are on solid legal footing in everything that we have done. Everything we have done was to the knowledge of INEC and in accordance with the constitution of ADC. So we don't have any worries in regards to what we have done. We're on solid legal grounds. I must admit that we cannot blame the government solely for everything that's happened in those parties. Some of these parties also have their own internal contradictions. But where you have a situation where someone is in the ruling party and the one that has been generally recognized as the cog in the wheel of the party coming together, and you see that institution that's happening, so we all know what is going on. It's easy for us to say, oh, these people are just fighting themselves. But I had Mr. President say it on the floor of National Assembly that government does not have a hand in the crisis going on in those parties, but that he's thoroughly enjoying their crisis. I think he shouldn't have said that, because as a Democrat, which I know him to be, he should have known that a democracy is stronger when there are other political parties that are able to present opposition.
Okay, what are your fears now that the ADC is on ground now? So all your fears about 2027 are gone now. What is the state of your party as we speak? Do you have members across the country? What are you doing for membership mobilization? And how are you selling the party? Is it on this narrative that people are hungry? That's why we are here.
People are not hungry.
There is this,
Are people not hungry?
No, I'm the one asking questions here.
Yeah, I'm asking you.
Can't ask me.
People are hungry.
How are you driving membership? What are the things you are telling? The other time you mentioned ideology, and I was waiting for you to expatiate more.
You didn't allow me.
Ideology. Okay.
You see, I don't know if you understand that since we unveiled our party in the last 2-3 weeks ago, I can't remember, July 2nd, when we unveiled our party, I don't know if you'll agree with me that the political mood in the country has changed. And if you are asked today, if an average Nigerian is asked today to mention the main opposition party in Nigeria, they are more likely to say ADC. For us, that's already something to hold on to as an achievement. But we also recognize that it's marathon, and we still have a long way to go. And we also recognize that there will be challenges even within as we go along. But the purpose of a political party is to be able to aggregate and discipline the interests, contradictory interests or ambitions of its membership. So we hope that when we arrive at that point, we'll be able to deal with it. One of the prophecy of doom that we have listened to is that, oh, there are so many ambitious people. There are many people who want to be president. That's what will tear them apart, right? Okay, it's fine, right? But we have been forewarned. So we are prepared to that. We are clear how we're going to go about that. You know, so we are not worried about that. Other challenges will come, no doubt about it. That the chairman said yesterday, we don't even expect government to do us any favor by allowing us to continue to be cohesive. We've seen what they are capable of doing, right? So we expect these challenges and we will continue to build it. And more importantly, what I keep saying is that this goes beyond 2027. Yes, we want power in 2027 so that we can set the country back on the right trajectory. But more importantly is this, for some of us, we believe that it gives us an opportunity to build a real political party that young people can look at and say, yes, I want to be part of this. Look, if you look in our ranks, no matter how well-intentioned we are for this country, majority of the people who constitute the leadership of this party are people in their 60s. So we are deliberate about this. We want ADC to be the party where the experience of the older ones is able to nurture the ambition of the younger ones, where we have a deliberate program of producing the successor generation of Nigerian politicians. And we are working very hard on this, bringing young people in, making them realize that this is their political party, this is their movement. Right, so you will see in the last couple of days, respective chapters in different states are already unveiling and conducting their own registration, and this will continue up till the election. Our infrastructure, our digital infrastructure we're still working on it, but people should be able to go on our website and register, in addition to whatever is going in respective localities across the country. So I agree with you. Can we sustain what we are doing on the basis of promises alone? I don't think so. Can we sustain what we are doing on the basis of pointing out, telling people what they know already, that they are hungry and all that? I don't think so. But I think people will ask themselves a fundamental question. has my life been better in the last 2 years? If the answer is no, then they are likely to look at us and say, do these people promise? So our job is already done to a large extent. We don't need to convince any Nigerian that they don't want this administration because they don't want to continue to suffer. It is now the other half is for us to convince them that we represent alternative. That's the work that we know we have to do, and we are going to continue to do it.
Okay. I will want us to take another break, and you will understand. Understand why. And when we come back, we are going to talk about. You mentioned 2 years, and I want to ask if by the time you got what you want in 2025, and by 2027,
yes,
people start saying, we are hungry. This administration has not improved our lives. Will you tell us that it's too early to start? Because that is what the APC government is saying now. That 2 years is just too short to begin to condemn an administration when we just left somebody that just did 8 years, with apologies to the dead. But you answer that when we come back.
Yeah.
The program, the polity will continue. Let's take a short break now.
In the beginning, God created a beautiful world.
3, 2, 1. Action.
And that's why, at Captain Television, we imagine a beautiful world.
We are not just bragging.
We blaze the trail in broadcasting. And it is about you.
At KAFTAN TV, broadcasting is not just about information, education, and entertainment.
It's an aggregation of all you need to know in Nigeria
and around the world to create SEGUN.
At KAFTAN Television, we have all it takes to be on top in broadcasting.
Our mission is simple: to project Africa in a truthful yet positive manner.
Wait, we're coming to you in style.
Here we are, starting from September.
Look at what the facts are.
And as you say on Kaftan TV, imagine a beautiful world.
In the beginning, God created a beautiful world.
3, 2, 1. Action.
And that's why, at Captain
You're welcome back. The program, The Polity, continues. And my guests, Mr. BOLAJI ADULLAHI is still in the studio, the spokesperson of the ADC. Before we went on that short break, we were talking about
whether 2 years is
whether 2 years is just not too short to begin to have this rounded condemnation of an administration.
I wouldn't call it I wouldn't call it condemnation, as it were. The question is whether the policies that this administration has pursued from day one is actually leading us somewhere. You know, people you like to talk about light at the end of the tunnel. Is there really any light at the end of this 4-year tunnel? That is the big question. Nigerians don't know why they are suffering. Majority of Nigerians don't know why petrol, what kind of policy would drive the cost of petrol from 190 to about 1,000. Nigerians don't understand why their 70,000 naira, if they even have it, is now able to buy only what 7,000 or 5,000 you used to buy. So if you are telling us that, that is not, it will not always be like this. We only need to endure this for 2 years. By year 3, it will come to this. Then we begin to give you an opportunity. But nobody is telling us, or Nigerians, that anything is going to change anytime. So what you are communicating is that if we allow you to continue, it will either remain like this, which we don't want, or it will get progressively worse. So nobody is saying, oh, let's blame them for everything that has happened. It's a continuum, right? But if your solution to the problem you inherited is to actually compound our situation, then we have the right to say, you are not leading us in the right direction. We are suffering. If you tell us that it is a necessary suffering before our life begins to get better, we say, okay, we will probably allow the 2 years, let us suffer for 2 years. Then when does this suffering stop? But meanwhile, while you are asking us to suffer, you are not suffering. The convoys of your car is getting longer by the day. We see your children. They are living life of obscene affluence. There's nothing in your lifestyle that shows that you are with us in our suffering. Why should we trust you?
Why do you say us?
Us, the Nigerians. Yeah.
Are you suffering?
Oh, of course I am.
Oh, that makes 2 of you.
Of course I am. You know, so that's the point. Nobody's. I know enough to tell you that there are no easy solutions to the problem in the public sector, right? Some of the, when you start a reform, it probably takes years for it to manifest. But what we're saying is that, were they the right reforms? Were they appropriately introduced? Did you account for the fallout? Did you know how it's going to affect the people? Do you have any mitigating measures in place? This is it. Your good intentions are not enough. So this is the problem.
Okay. I remember the other time when you were talking, you mentioned what we have always been reading in the newspapers and social media, that leave them, crisis will soon break out. All of them want to be president. When it comes to choosing their presidential candidate, that's when you know the stuff they are made of. How many of you in that party wants to be in Aso Rock? And how are you trying to solve the problem? Because it's like many of those who are in your party, who moved, joined the ADC, were past presidential candidates. So what is driving them? Is somebody ready to give somebody the chance to go first?
Well, nobody has told me he wants to be president. But I suspect to know those who would like to be president. But nobody has approached me to say, Bolaji, I want to be president. When we started this coalition, what the government people were saying is, oh, it's dead on arrival. Then we did our unveiling. They said, oh, we give them 6 months. Oh, okay. We are making progress. Then we say, okay, 6 months. When we get to 6 months, they say, don't worry, leave them. The 2026, they will collapse. Right? No problem. The point, what I can assure you of, is that ADC will conduct a most transparent primaries that will be a pride to every Nigerian. That every Nigerian will see that whoever emerges is the choice of members who have voted. And the party will back that individual. We don't have any predetermined agenda. We don't have any candidate that we are supporting or working for. Members of ADC would decide who the presidential candidate will be. And when you hear supporters of the various potential aspirants going at each other, promoting their preferred aspirants, what we tell them is, it's okay, continue to have this, but if you really want your aspirant to be the candidate of the party, you better go and take membership card and be sure to vote on the day of the primaries. That is the only way you can guarantee, because you can't tell us to be democratic and tell us to handpick a candidate for whatever reason. You know, so this is the message we are making very clear. And for those who are hoping and wishing that ADC collapses in the vortex of this contradictory ambition, we pray against it, but we're also working against it.
Okay. Where are you looking to poach your members? Because like you told me earlier in this program, you cannot go and manufacture new set of politicians. It is from the existing political class that you are going to choose from. Yes. So where are you throwing your net? Into which of the political parties? Well, into which of the segments? Because we know that there are some of you that are very strong in some sections of the country. So where are you throwing your nets?
We're not throwing nets, okay, or poaching, as you say. We're just telling people the narrative of the reality of the political situation in the country. We are trying to make them see our party as the better alternative, and believing that by selling our party to them, by promoting our party, they will come to us. And I can tell you, within the very short time that we have come out, the kind of response we've received across the country. I was watching the video of registration of new members of our party in one of the states yesterday. It's incredible. Look, within the first 48 hours that we did the unveiling, some people were paying money online to take their membership.
I have a call here. I have a call. Hello, good afternoon. This is Kaftan TV.
Beautiful Nigeria with Kaftan Television.
Hey, good afternoon.
And imagine
a beautiful world. Okay. Please tell us your name again. We know your name, but where are you calling from?
Good afternoon to the ADC spokesman, right?
Yes. Mr. BOLAJI ADULLAHI.
In the studio.
Yes.
This is S.O. Dudu calling from Cross River State.
Thank you very much. How's Cross River?
Our esteemed viewers.
Okay, thank you very much.
Either before I proceed, you know I am a card-carrying member of APC.
Okay.
Since 2014. But I want to speak this afternoon as a social critic.
Okay.
Yes. Sincerely speaking, as I said in the other program, the other day, if you look at critically, the executive is the first estate of the land, the legislature second, judiciary third, the media,
yes,
journalists is the fourth estate of the realm.
Yes.
And to me, opposition is the opposition and civil society organization is the fifth estate of the realm. Why am I taking it from this perspective or this dimension? If you look at now, the opposition in Nigeria is completely clear before the emergence of ABC. The tactic is actually coming from my party, the APC. And we cannot continue to fold our hand this way because sincerely things are bad now in this country. I am calling from my hometown. In the village, people are suffering. People are suffering. I was discussing this morning with my dad in Centenaria when he was telling me about the late President Muhammadu Buhari, that when he joined army in 1958, that Buhari is not in army yet, that he was in boys' company. He was telling me this. And how things are very bad now in the country at this stage. So, what we expect this agency to do? First, we want them to have a very formidable media team. A spokesman. I am sure he's a spokesman, just as you admitted.
Wow.
I am
We
sure.
have a very good man in the house.
He is very good. We have a very good media, we have a very good spokesman. And
thank you.
They should try to strike this government, this my party-led government. They should strike them just the way the Lai Mohammed then was actually striking the policies of PDP then. You are going to discover that 2027 will be very terrible for my party if they don't change. Okay. If you look at critically, there is a very clear indication that my party is trying, please just give me some time, my party is trying to thwart the effort of this ADC from all available happenings presently. Why? Through legal cases that we actually thwart the party. So I want them to make sure if before the emergence of this coalition, the existing ADC, they were carried along. They should try to engage them. They should ensure that, party is supreme. Party is supreme. They should ensure that no litigation should come, so that we will know that whatever thing any outsider is trying to do, to ensure that they will thwart them, it will not work out.
Okay,
because
thank you.
2027, sincerely speaking, we cannot continue to be like this.
Thank you.
We cannot continue to be like this. Please, let me leave it here. Thank you so much.
We appreciate you. Have a great day. Now, I think you had it.
I had everything
about
you said.
litigation.
But you see the opinion.
Carrying along, we mentioned it earlier, carrying along those that you met in the party to ensure that crisis is staved.
I mean, yes, but more significantly, you can hear the sentiment that he expressed. That is a widespread sentiment across the country. Yes. You want to take another call? Yeah, okay.
Good afternoon. This is Kaftan TV.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon. Can you tell us your name and where you are calling from?
I'm calling from Akwa Ibom State.
Your name, please.
My name is...
What did you say? Your name is... Okay. Okay, please go ahead. Go ahead.
This country is free of us. They should do good things for us.
No, can you? Okay. Thank you for calling. Okay, you were reacting.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, in spite of all that we are saying, and I'm glad the Ezeodudu understand perfectly what is going on. But we will be the first to agree that those who have genuine grievances, we are ready to engage them. And that's why we invited all the state party chairmen to Abuja last week, and we had a meeting with them.
Hello, good afternoon. Yes.
Yes, good afternoon, Kaftan TV.
Thank you very much. Can you tell us your name and where you are calling from?
I'm Victor Isiko, calling you from River State.
Victor, River State. Okay, please go ahead and make your points. Make it brief, please.
I want to sincerely appreciate the ADC spokesperson there.
Okay.
He's trying to be on point, but there are some areas that I'm not really agree with him. Like the area that he mentioned that this government is the most failure government in history of this country. I disagree with him.
I didn't say that.
Why am I disagree with him?
No,
when
please
the
continue.
APC come up, when APC come up through the appellation like this, how much did they take the fuel price from? That was 97 naira. How much they left the fuel price to the current government? Or they left the fuel price to the current government? How much was the bag of rice in former administration? And how much is the current price of the rice now? Now we can buy rice, a bag of rice, 70,000, something thousand now. To compare during the last government that we are buying 100 and something to 200,000. Now, we know that in the through the fuel subsidy, that pick up the cost of price. Cost of price. We know that it's all bound back to subsidy removal. Just that the subsidy removal is a good step, but the way and method that the Mr. President go about it to remove the subsidy is still, those corrupted people still there and making things very difficult. Then you're coming back to this APC collation of things. It's the APC and PDP members who are as well frustrated in 2015 ADP government from the collation of the APC and brought in the APC to take up the power. And they are the same people that in the ADC now. Directly or indirectly, I must tell you that this present government, the APC government, did not kill any political party or opposition party. Rather, opposition members or party, because of their selfish reasons, which they did not want to fight in for masses. Most of them, if you look at it, some people that one way and the other, they deny them one appointment, they deny them one this and the other. They are the people in this very coalition party. And as the one caller have said before, I'm strongly tell you that even this ADC, they will collapse themselves. Okay. Do you know why they will collapse themselves before 2027? Okay. Because they are full with greedy people, self-centered people. People that do not want, they see that Mr. A is good for that office. But because they see themselves as the superior to the other, they want to be in that government. Okay. So in summary, I think if ADC want to oppose, maybe want the APC government, led government to come and do what it should be doing, and according or in line with the Constitution, I think they should first of all investigate themselves and remove the lemongrass from the corn among themselves.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for calling. Just in one or two sentences, please react to.
No, I don't need to react to that. I mean, it's his opinion. I mean, at least we found one Nigerian that is happy with APC. That is a good thing.
No, it's not.
You know, and the other one is not. So it's okay. One is from Rivers, one is
he has predicted that we should leave them just like that they will fizzle out.
Yes, okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
Well, we'll try to let it. We'll fizzle out. Okay. We'll fizzle out. We'll try not to fizzle out.
Yes, good afternoon. Where are you calling from? Your name?
Good afternoon.
Okay, good afternoon. Please quickly make your point.
I'm Charles Chidra calling from Abuja.
Okay, Charles. Please go ahead.
I really want to commend Mr. Bolaji there. He is actually a spoke.
Hello? Are you still there? Oh, we lost it. Anyway, I heard it. He commended you for being a spokes. He didn't complete the rest.
I know what he's trying to say, so I thank him.
Okay, now, because of our time,
yes.
What are you promising Nigerians? You said it that there is going to be a new lease. Oh, he has come back. Okay, sorry. You're back. Hello? Hello? Hello?
I think his network is...
Okay. Hello, are you still there?
Hello.
Hello, I can hear you.
Hello.
Hello, please tell us where you are calling from and your name. Okay.
It's not working for him.
Well, because of our time.
Yes, thank you. You are asking me what we are going to do.
Yes, what are your promises? Because 2027 is still far away.
You see,
and anything can still happen between now and then. In fact, there is an elder statement that told me that, why are you worrying yourself? 2027 is still about 2 years.
Yes.
You will see what will happen.
It's possible. 1 day is a long time in politics. But if you recognize that by April or so of next year, presidential candidates will have emerged, then you will know that we don't have the kind of luxury of time that one is tempted to think that we do have. We have the bigger challenge because we are the one who have to build a new political party that is able to contest election nationwide. We're the one who have to convince Nigerians that we are alternative. This government doesn't have anything to say. They cannot say that vote for us on the record of what we have done, or say that if you vote for us, we are promising you change. They cannot say that. But we also know the enormity of the task ahead of us. The difference will be that, as I speak to you, our party is working very hard to be in a position to be very clear and definitive about what we are committing to. We are not going to react to whatever the government is doing, but we are going to be very deliberate. By the time we come out with our manifesto and our programs, it will be clear to all Nigerians. It is going to be simple, explicit, and measurable, so that Nigerians can say this is what you promised. Because the fundamental point that I keep making is that within the ranks of opposition, the ADC, there is a widespread acknowledgement that there is an opportunity to save the political elite generally. We promised change in 2014, 2015, and this is where it has led us. Now, there is an acknowledgement across the board that for this generation of political, maybe people like me in context, we say have another time, another opportunity. Yeah. But there is a widespread acknowledgement that for majority, this is an opportunity to actually convince Nigerians that something good can come out of politics.
Okay. I can only wish you, your party, the very best in your pursuit. And it's all in the service of Nigeria. May the new Nigeria that we are all expecting, may it evolve.
In our lifetime.
Yeah, in our lifetime, yes. Well, I must thank you, Mr. Bolaji Abdullahi, the spokesperson of the ADC, for coming on the program, Polity. We sincerely hope that when there are other issues to clear, and we call upon you, you will answer us.
We'll be happy to be here. Okay. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is where we call it a date on the program, the Polity, for this afternoon. Join us at 8 p.m. for Matters Arising, and 2 p.m. tomorrow for another edition of the Polity. I am SEGUN. OJELADE. Bye-bye.